Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. My name is Noah, and welcome to Nintendo and my first impressions on the two new OKKO Let's Be Heroes episodes, Do You Have Any More in the Back, and My Dad Can Beat Up Your Dad. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Nick, you can say your thoughts on Do You Have Any More in the Back?
Yeah, this was a really polarizing set of episodes, because I really enjoyed one of them, and the other I thought was okay.
Same.
Do you have any more in the back was probably like my favorite episode so far. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. It was a radically centered episode, and it was about him being super arrogant and thinking he knows what he's doing when in reality he doesn't. But it was handled really well, where he was always kept likable, and he was like redeemed at the end. Characters called him out for what he was doing. But I really liked his dynamic he had with KO, where everything he said was like very funny comedically, but it wasn't like ever annoying to the audience where I'm like, when is that guy gonna get his comeuppance? It was just more like, that guy's just being stupid. It's funny.
I definitely agree with you that I like that in the show they don't make arrogance an annoying thing. They've done it twice in so far, and both times they succeeded.
Yeah, the other time they did it was in Year Level 100, and they also kept KO likable while also giving him a boost of arrogance.
And also, I like the new location, the back down, way back, whatever you call it. It was very entertaining. I like the parodies to old video games, like those old dungeon games where it's all the rooms are randomly generated and stuff. I thought that was pretty clever. And it was an altogether very well executed and fun episode that kept everyone likable.
I thought that the location, I didn't think that the location specifically spoofed any like one video game, but I definitely thought it was pretty cool on how diverse and varied and just how it was, especially compared to the regular setting of the show. Another thing I liked was the recurring mimic monster. There's one scene where he turns into a flashlight, and the entire sequence is just black and white. And it looked really, really good.
Yeah, I love the stylization in that scene alone.
Yeah, that's probably the highlight of the episode for me.
It kind of reminded me of like when Samurai Jack did it.
Yes, the Samurai vs. Ninja episode where everything was either black or white. But yeah, that was a really cool part. And it was just an overall enjoyable episode.
Most definitely. Anyway, moving on to My Dad Can Beat Up Your Dad. So, I thought this episode was alright. I mean, it taught a lesson, it had some okay jokes and cool new characters. It was just not much really stood out to me. And another thing that brought it down was the ending was a bit too weird for my taste. Just, the dad was secretly this weird tall man in a lizard costume, and
yeah, that didn't make any sense, because previously in the episode you could tell that he was actually a chameleon, because he was like using the chameleon powers, and
that must be
phasing in and out, going invisible.
That must be a really expensive suit.
Yeah, I felt like that could have been a bit better explained, or he could have like not used the power, and that could have made it more obvious that he wasn't actually a chameleon, you know?
It seems like you'd have to give up one thing in order to get another thing. Like, if you take away the dumb twist, then you get all the cool powers. If you take away all the cool powers, then you'll just have the weird ending.
Yeah. The fight sequence was alright. I don't really remember it being particularly interesting or having much that was really, like, special.
It's kind of clever, but also just kind of mediocre.
Outside of the twist where Carol actually did beat up the dad, instead of actually being focused on peacefulness all the way through, there really wasn't much in the episode that I couldn't predict. And the only inspired part of the episode that I really enjoyed was the beginning, where KO and I think the other character, Chameleon Jr., I think that was his name.
Oh, I really liked that sequence.
They were burning each other, and the words like actually flew out of their mouths and were they had to dodge them. Which I thought was a pretty fun sequence. If more of the episode had stuff like that, I would have enjoyed it. But other than that, it was just kind of predictable and I guess kind of boring. I wasn't really invested in what any of the characters were doing. And even though I know this show doesn't have much continuity, it did kind of feel like a filler episode where it didn't really have much of a point to it. I mean, it did introduce a few things, including the fact that KO does not have a dad.
Yeah, that's something. Someone in my comment section had this crazy theory. I'm not sure if it's going to be true or not, because it's just that insane. What if Mr. Gar is KO's dad? You know, just gotta think about that.
I can't think of anyone else who could be KO's dad, so that could be it. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see.
Either that or they're gonna take a Full House direction and have it so the dad was actually killed off by a drunk driver. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be exactly like Full House.
Yes.
Yeah, like I like the fact that KO doesn't have a dad, and at right now that's just a thing. Like, it's just put out there and it just exists. And I'm kind of fine if we don't ever get any closure on that, because I just like how it's casually put out there and it's just like accepted. It's an interesting idea, but I just wish it was in a better episode, you know?
Anyway, we broke the streak. Not every episode is incredibly amazing. This first impression series isn't monotonous.
Yay! These videos are actually getting interesting.
Oh boy. So, yeah, there's gonna be a new episode almost every day in August, so we have a lot to talk about for the rest of August. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Until the next one, stay tuned. See ya, bye.
I feel like OKKO is just going to suck from now on because of that one bad episode.
Yes.
The rest of the series is not going to be worth watching. So see you all next time when the show sucks, you know?